Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Unknown to World Known. We're back with QPR, and since you were last with us, we have beat Reading 2-0 and then we lost 2-1 to Middlesbrough in quite a disappointing result. So we're back now for the last two games of the season, Hull and Walsall, and we're currently sat in 11th. Because of the goal difference, we've guaranteed 11th because 6 points and 20 goal difference basically. That's not going to change. But we are hot on the heels of Portsmouth and Sheffield United. We can technically finish in the playoffs. No, we can't. We can only finish as high as 8th. Never mind. So we're just going to try and see how high we can get. Let's start off with this game against Hull. And we're going to start off against Hull with Rivero in goal, Mensah, Munmin, Sorensen and Bassi as our back four. Amos and Casata as the holding midfielders with Willock, Chair and Shortire as the three behind the striker with, of course, Scarlett up front. Because who else would we play up front? Let's be honest. I am starting to look at transfers for the summer. Main target is to keep Scarlett for another year. It's probably going to be on loan. If we can sign him permanently, which seems very, very unlikely, but we'll see what we can do. I don't know what our budgets are at the moment. What we're going to do in this episode is play these two games and do a season summary as well. However, one thing I did check a moment ago, as Casata has the ball at the edge of the area, Shortire sends it just wide. I've had a look back. Lincoln promoted to League One, so we left them in a strong enough position to carry on and get the promotion. Willock heads down to Amos, who plays the ball through towards Chair, who's going out on the wing, tries to find Scarlett, but doesn't manage to get there. However, Mumin with a fantastic tackle there, and Mensah's going to collect that with time and space to do so. And now Rivero's going to start from the back, finds Sorensen and Bassi. Casata now finds Amos. And we're just very patient in our build-up here. Short tire with space to run into, as does Casata, who finds Amos, and a brilliant ball through to short tire. And that was one of the best passing moves I have seen on this year's Football Manager. And thankfully, it was in our favour. This pass here from Amos through to Shortire, leaving the defence absolutely no chance. And we are right on the back of Portsmouth. In fact, as it stands, we go above Portsmouth. Who is Sheffield United playing? They're playing Fulham, so you would expect, maybe, for them to lose to Fulham as well. So we could find ourselves in some very good position after this game. However, Scarlett has picked up a knock and we are not going to risk him at all. We're going to bring him straight off at half time for Dykes, because we really want to go into that final game as strong as possible and see if we can put a few past Walsall, who have already been relegated, as Chris Willock puts a fantastic free kick into that top corner to put us 2-0 up in our penultimate game of the season. Ingram not quite managing to get there. If Sheffield United lose, we would go level on points with them as long as we win. Bournemouth are 2-0 down, so we are really in a chance of getting into that fight. And we are going to look at making a change here in Pearson coming on for Amos. Rest him up for the final game of the season, because I know how important Amos is to that holding midfield. It just sits in place and really protects the defence. As Lewis Potter manages head down to Fleming, and they've got space down their left-hand side now. Mensah trying to prevent the cross and does so fantastically. clears the ball up towards Dykes, who plays it off to Chair. And Dykes a very different type of striker to what Scarlett is. But Chair does manage to find him with the cross, and Dykes gets on the end of it. He's a very different striker in that he's more of a play it into his feet or to his head, and he's going to win the ball and hold it up like he did for Chair there. He did both in that move right there. Held the ball up so that he could play Chair down the wing, then got into the box and wins the header. And that's exactly what he's in the team for. And there goes our final change. No, here goes our final change. We're going to bring Chair off for Joe Lolly. And then, yeah, that'll be fine. Joe Lolly making what is likely to be a final appearance for QPR because I believe his contract's expiring at the end of the season. I'm not really interested in renewing it. And did I see that right? We're going to tell him that was a good win. I could be wrong. I think I saw that Sheffield United had just turned around to beat Fulham 2-1, which is really annoying if they have done. Because that was had they not won, we'd have had a chance to go 8th. If they turned that around, they didn't have to turn it around, they just beat them. But that means now they're 3 points ahead of us. We're now finishing 10th at a minimum, hopefully, actually. Portsmouth is still 2 points behind us. A draw sees us finish 10th. A win gives us an unlikely chance at 8th or 9th. Let's go see if we can pull that off. And we're back for the game against Walsall. I've made a mistake. I got a bit carried away and started the game. We're only 5 minutes in. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We have signed Dane Scarlett on loan for next season now as well. So he's with us for at least another year. And also I've noticed that Bournemouth and Sheffield United are playing each other today. So that gives us a massive chance of getting into 9th place, but we can't really go any higher. We can't at all. We can finish 9th if one of those teams wins the game. And the lineup we're going with is, I think, unchanged from the last game, other than Pearson coming in midfield. Yeah, everything else is the same. Rivero, Mensah, Mumin, Sorensen, Bassi, Pearson in for Amos, Casata, Willock, Chair, Shortire, and Scarlett. So we'll carry on after the first 5 minutes. And Bassi now trying to create something down the left-hand side. Shortire picks the ball up and he's going to drive inside and cuts across the defender but shoots just over the bar. We get to end the season at home as well, which is quite nice. Willock sends the ball in. Sorensen has completely lost his man. The keeper's had a mare. And Sorensen has managed to get his third goal of the season. I believe his other 2 came in the same game as each other. But keeper has absolutely messed that up. No wonder Walsall are relegated. Coventry are also relegated after Luton managed to pick up a win last weekend, set them to go down. Sheffield United are beating Bournemouth, which means we are currently up into 9th place, and they're currently up into 7th place as Barnsley aren't winning in their game. Casata finds Chair, who finds Willock, who absolutely fantastic goal from Willock there. And that makes it 2-0, 25 minutes gone. And hopefully today we can make a real statement of intent for next season as Casata played the ball to Chair, who knocked it on to Willock, the Megs, and then blasts it into the top corner of the far post. Fantastic goal that was. Sheffield United, Barnsley, in theory, can they finish in the top 6? I'm not sure. Pearson picks the ball up and lumps it forward for Scarlett to chase down Jules, but Jules deals not very well with it, gives it to Willock, and Willock now trying to find Scarlett. Does manage to do so, but it ends up at Shortire's feet and he skies it. Let's just have a look. Barnsley are winning. They're not anymore. They're drawing now. I think Nottingham Forest have secured their playoff spot already. They must have done because they're losing. Scarlett makes it 3-0 in the background. Let's just have a quick look. So, Forest losing on 78. Barnsley drawing are on 75. So if Barnsley win, they'd be on 77. Yes, so the top 6 is already set in stone. So the top 6 is set in stone. The bottom 3 are set in stone. There's not really anything happening on the final day of the championship. Except for Rivero lumping it upfield, finding Scarlett, who finished it very nicely to put us 3-0 up in the first half. And if we can make some improvements to this team over the summer, I see no reason we can't be battling for the automatic promotion spots even, I'd say. I think that would have to be our target here. Casata picks the ball up and tries to get inside, but doesn't manage to. Pearson beaten to the ball by Ugbo, but they just give the ball straight back to us, and now Pearson plays it out to Mensah, who's got Willock with him, who's got Chair with him, who plays it through for Scarlett, and it's 4-0. Scarlett on 32 goals of the season. He was tipped for the player of the season, and I would find it very difficult to find anyone who deserves it more than him. Chair is going to be a player we need to keep hold of this summer as well. Bassi heads away, and Janelli is going to pick that up, plays it back to Bishop, and Kenlock and Bishop now exchange the ball. It's back to Jules, across to Kirby, Adebayo. Stevens has managed to get past Bassi there, and gets one back for Walsall. We're going to praise them. Probably a weird time to do it. We don't need to see that goal. We've got a season review to do after this game. And what we're going to do in a minute is Pearson whips the ball in, and I'm not sure how Mumin has sent it that far wide. We're going to give Pearson his standing ovation, as it's likely he's leaving at the end of the season. And you know what, Shortire can come off as well for Dykes, as we look to just round off our season with a couple of celebration of players who may be on their way out. Speaking of players who may be on their way out, let's give Joe Lolly a final appearance at Queen's Park home ground. Loftus Road, as it used to be called, it's now named after someone. I have been intending to read the full story. I believe it was to do with making a statement against knife crime after one of their fans was stabbed. I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I will look it up for the next episode so I can actually confirm that. And it looks like we're going to win 4-1 and finish 9th in the league. Barnsley appear to have lost on the final day. But there we go, 4-1 in a very dominant performance there as well, because we had the XG of 3 at least, I think it was. Walsall's was like 0.4 or something like that. So really dominant performance from ourselves there to end the season. And we finished 9th, considering when I joined, I think we were 16th or 15th. So we have really turned the season around, and we were definitely closer to the relegation zone than we were the playoffs. Everyone looks quite happy with that one, especially Scarlett. And I mean, he has been absolute revelation. We'll be back with the season review in just a moment. And here we are with the season review. I've had a quick look. The stadium is called the Kian Prince Stadium. named after Kean Prince, a player who QPR had in their youth. He was signed in 2004 when he would have been 14, and he was stabbed while intervening, trying to prevent the bullying of another boy. So fair play to QPR for honouring him by naming their stadium after him on what would have been his 30th birthday. And here we are with the season review 25-26 season. So having a look at our new arrivals. Scarlett, obviously not my side, but A+, and we've got him back for next year. 32 goals in 49 games and 7 assists. And I think 10 goals. I think when we joined, he scored his 10th goal. So that tells you how much he's come on since we joined. B+ for Casata again. Not my signing, but I'd say I've helped him improve. B- for Mumin, he is my signing. B+ for Sorensen, again, one of my signings. It looks like for the most part they've had quite a few good signings this year. Short eye, B- for him, that was mine. Going out, I don't think any of these. Oscar Burr was mine, but doesn't really matter. Mensah was happy. They were happy to send him on loan until I bought him back. Season results. So we finished 9th in the end after an expectation of top half. Competition top scorer was Dane Scarlett. And you can see here, there was a lot of draws early on and a lot of losing. And then they had a bit of good form there before losing it again. And then just before I joined, this was I think this was the loss that got their manager sacked against Hull. And then after that, they drew, won, and drew before I joined in the Cardiff City game. And look at the run we went on after that, losing just 3 games, and one to Fulham and one to Middlesbrough. The Fulham one was a lot more understandable, but what a run we had. And then Emirates FA Cup, I joined for the 4th round, managed to squeeze us through, and then we got demolished by Chelsea. But they weren't too bothered. They wanted the 4th round. We got 5th round. Carabao Cup, nothing to do with us, but they got thrashed 5-0 by Fulham. And moments to remember, a 5-0 win against Birmingham City. That was with me in charge. Match to remember, a 4-0 win against Middlesbrough. That was not long before I joined, about a month before. And goal of the season for Casata for this goal. So this is a goal that got goal of the season. Ball came in, Hogworth, then Falqueer, played it Casata, and he just smashed it in from range. A very nice finish from the lad. Is it goal of the season worthy? I'm not convinced. It was a very nice finish, but I'm not sure if it was that good. But I don't know what competition it had either, so. Revenue wise, they're up on everything except broadcast revenue. For some reason, no competition prize money last year. That's really weird. That happened with Lincoln as well. I think that might be a glitch from the looks of it. And 708,000 made in shirt sales. Dykes being the most popular. He only played a few times. Casata, Chair, Willock, and Stage all a bit more acceptable. Stage questionable. Not sure on that one. How are you lined up? Let's have a look. So Rivero, Falqueer, Muscle, Sorensen getting in there despite only coming in January. Bosma, Casata, Amos, they're the wrong way round. Brannigan, Chair, Willock, and Scarlett. So Brannigan not in there for me at all. I'd put Shortire or even Coyle there instead of him. But other than that, probably quite fair. Ilias with 19 assists this year and 10 goals. Absolutely phenomenal attacking midfielder. We need to keep hold of him quite desperately. Fans Player of the Season, Dane Scarlett. Young Player of the Season, Dane Scarlett. Sign of the Season goes into Mumin, who only came in January, so that says something. Dane Scarlett, top goal scorer. 16 assists for Chair. Most man of the matches was Dane Scarlett, and he also had the highest average rating. And he breaks the record for most overall goals by a player in a season with 32. Most goals by a player in a match and league match with 4. Rivera with the most clean sheets by a player. Scarlett with the most man of the match awards within the season. And Rory Brannigan with youngest goal scorer. And that's it for the first half season we've had with QPR. So what we'll do now, just to confirm to you as well, if we go down here, Lincoln won League One, so they are promoted, and they're already getting rid of Thiago. Fair enough. Colwell is set to join Kilmarnock. I wish we'd got on that. I think he'd be good at our level as well. And what about Stewart? He is still there. We're going to get a scout report on him. I would be interested in bringing Stewart in as a backup striker potentially. But then we have got Dykes, who I'm not sure on Dykes. I'm not sold on him. He's 30 as well. Dykes is leaving, he's 30. So, we'll be back in the next episode with a transfer roundup and the first 2 games of the new season. As next season, we'll really look to try and push on towards the promotion and the playoffs and see how we can get on. Out of these, I'd most like Crystal Palace to be the ones that go up because they were probably the best other than West Ham and Fulham. And coming down from the Premier League, we've got Stoke and then probably West Brom and Watford. That would be a great escape if I ever saw one. It looks like Tottenham are going to win the league. That's a weird one. With Jose Mourinho in charge. It's took him a few years, but he's there. Solskjaer still in charge at United. City have got rid of Pep. Chelsea have still got Frank Lampard. Fair play to them. Liverpool still got Jurgen Klopp despite falling into Europa League from the looks of it. Wolves have got rid of Nuno. Arsenal have still got Mikel Arteta. Wow. Okay, so we're back. Oh, transfer budget 4.75 million. That's not bad. And 350,000 wage budget. What are we spending at the minute? So we've got quite a bit to work with on the wage budget there. We'll be able to do some trading this year. And we'll back in the next episode, season review and the first game of the new season. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like. Comment where you think we should be looking to finish next year. And subscribe if you are enjoying the series. Thank you very much for watching.